Hello, my name is Safari Agaba. I'm an engineer, 20-year engineer in North America, Canada, USA, and I'm a professor. I'm also one of the founders and CEOs of Safetech Canada College, which is online college. We do have students all over the world, like Africa, Asia, North America, everywhere. So we do have classes going on about AI, cloud computing, like AI for business, cloud computing, validation, cybersecurity, project management, and IT project management. We put those skills together because those are the skills required on the market today. When you go, especially people in North America and Canada and USA, most of the people don't have jobs. And the reason why they don't have jobs, it's not because jobs are not there. Jobs are there, but unfortunately, people don't have the skills to get into those jobs.
So today, my name is David. I'll be going through IT support, that is troubleshooting and maintenance. For those that may see our videos, you can continue, like, subscribe, and then you continue sharing and joining our classes. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we have been covering IT foundations mainly for the past few weeks. So last time we looked at the commands, the different commands, the must know commands. Yes. So let's just make a small recap of the commands that you remember that we used that day and how to apply them last week. Maybe you can give a few and maybe the application if you can remember so that we see. And if there are those that you've used this week, then maybe we can know.
Some of the commands which we've learned last time, I may say like one which I've been recently using, which is mainly used to scan if there's any system errors running in your computer. I may say like in order to scan and repair all the corrupted system files, that command is SFC, which you may also put more details like scan now in order to ensure the system stability. And another command prompt, which is being like, is another command which can be used to replace like the team manager, which is task list in order to see the running processes or any running applications which are running on your computer. And you may also use another command regarding task list, like you instead of putting task list, you put in like task queue in order to terminate any unresponsive applications. One other command prompt which we learned was net start, which helps like IT professionals to monitor the active TCP or IP connections in order like to monitor your network connectivity.
Okay, that's okay. So today we are going to mainly be doing, just as I explained to you, troubleshooting. So I asked, what do you understand by the term troubleshooting?
In simple terms, I may say troubleshooting is any process you may use to identify and analyze and fix a problem which might be occurring on any computer machine or any IT system.
That is okay. So I'll just ask, why do you think we require troubleshooting? Do you think troubleshooting matters?
It matters because most of those problems are only solved through troubleshooting. Like it's any process you may use to solve a problem which might occur on your computer. So troubleshooting is really important unless those problems you have are not necessarily fixable.
Okay, so troubleshooting mainly describes, I would say, describes a systematic process of maybe identifying. You must first identify. Then once you've identified the problem, then you diagnose. Once you diagnose, then you resolve. Once you resolve, that means once something has been resolved, that means the system is going to come back to working normally. So there are mainly few key steps in troubleshooting. Obviously, troubleshooting in simple terms, we can say it's figuring out what's wrong and fixing it. That's the main part. You figure out what is wrong and then you fix it. So you have to first identify the problem, then you analyze the cause, then you test the solutions, then you implement the fix, that's implementing the solution, and then you verify has the problem been resolved. So if a person is not accessing internet on their computer, yes, that would be the problem, not so? How would we analyze that problem? Let's look at it in a practical perspective. Hussein, are you getting me? Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting you. A person like has a problem to connect to the network or
To connect to the internet.
to connect to the internet. I would say like the first thing you would suspect it is if they're having like any network connection, and in order to not be able to connect to the internet is because either your network has a problem or the internet itself is not reachable. So I would say, first of all, check on your end and later go and check if it is a problem with the internet. And the first thing you will do is check if your Wi-Fi or network router is working. And the way you would do that is just trying to see if any other device is being able to connect to your network. And if it is not, try to switch off and turn it on back on to see
You've
if you are able to
identified,
connect to it. Yeah. When you're trying to identify
okay,
the problem.
so once we are done with identifying the problem, we analyze the cause. So according to your problem, what would be the cause?
According to my problem, maybe your network or your Wi-Fi router was not properly adjusted or connected to your device. Let's say maybe your Wi-Fi cable is not connected on your laptop, or let's say your monthly payment of your Wi-Fi network or your network connection has been depleted and you have to renew your payment. Yeah. Trying to identify possible solutions in order to see the cause. That's how I would analyze the cause.
Oh, okay, that's okay. So once you've identified the cause, then you can derive the solution.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are going to continue. So as you can see, I hope you're seeing my screen clearly. Hussein, are you?
See it.
Yeah, okay. So here we're going to mainly do about troubleshooting. So this is obviously in our module. So we are going to talk about mainly troubleshooting, just like the intro said it. So today, these will be our learning objectives today. Recognize the common hardware, software, network problems effectively, then systematic troubleshooting, that is, we apply the step-by-step methods to diagnose and resolve IT problems. Then we are going to have the backup and maintenance to understand backup, recovery, preventive maintenance principles, then use of troubleshooting tools. Then we shall become familiar with most of the tools that we can use in troubleshooting. Okay, so this is our first part. Why do you think troubleshooting matters? Let's let's talk about it. So here they are saying prevents system downtime. What do you understand by the term system downtime when you hear someone saying it prevents system downtime?
From my understanding, like if a system was to fail or crash, in the meantime, it's taking a long time to access all your data or information on your devices. So in the meantime, when the system is down, there's a lot of things which are not going well. So troubleshooting, it prevents that time when the system has crashed. Of course, it resolves the problem and reduces or prevents the system downtime.
So let me try to give an illustration. So would a company be happy with, in case you're called, maybe there is a problem and you're on IT support, and then you solved the system is down, and then you came and maybe worked on maybe a few servers and you made them work, but other servers are not working. Would the company feel like that is efficient enough, or they would feel like you had to work on everything at once?
Of course, they would know, they would be at least be glad to have enough resources to continue their activities. So at the meantime, I think they would be thankful enough to even give you enough time to finish all the process of fixing the problem.
So at least they'll be hopeful that you have tried. Okay, so the other part, it saves time and resources. I think we know how this is. Firstly, if the
Yeah.
servers are down and then you can troubleshoot and maybe make some other things work, then effective troubleshooting quickly identifies, resolves the problems, and minimizes productivity loss. Because imagine if a system is down, let me say it's a bank, and the system is down, that means literally everyone is not able to work. So if you're able to solve that problem very fast, then you're going to save time and then resources. They're not going to have to use other means to try and make everything work.
Yeah.
So then the other one is enhances user satisfaction. I think you understand by what we say by user satisfaction.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Then systemic problem solving. That is the methodology that we are going to mainly look out. So speaking, let me say, for example, if a company's network goes offline, let's say employees can't access emails, tools. So by troubleshooting, obviously, we are going to quickly find maybe a faulty router, and then we restore our connectivity, preventing hours of lost productivity. And maybe a printer constantly jams. Instead of replacing it immediately, there might be high costs. So troubleshooting may reveal maybe a misaligned paper on the paper tray, then we are fixing it. That's when we are saving resources and we are saving costs. Then user satisfaction, an example we can look at, be a slow loading website. Then we have to troubleshoot, identify the servers. Is it connected to the cloud? What's the problem? And then yeah, we work on it and the users keep happy. So maybe a little scenario before we go. So if someone's computer is running slowly, yes?
Yeah.
What would be the possible causes of that?
Uh, One of the main possible causes of a computer or machine running slowly be that, of course, its processor is not having enough space to process the actions or any activity or any running processes which are running on your machine. So I think it would be caused by uh, many applications or many actions which are running on your computer, which your processor can't be able to handle or manage at the same
Okay,
time.
so if the problem is maybe very many background programs as you've been explaining, yes?
Yeah.
So what would be the troubleshooting steps for that?
Of course, you would use your team manager to view all the running processes on your computer, or as
Okay.
we've talked about, you can use your command prompt. Yeah, use the task list command prompt to see all those applications which are running on your computer. And if you see any unresponsive or unnecessary running processes, you would just terminate them in order to save some space for your processor to handle the important ones.
Okay, so that is okay for that. That was greatly solved. Then, so we are going to look at the common IT problems. What are the common IT problems that you know? You can give an example. Common IT problems that we interact with daily.
Your most of many machines or computers, they have a problem of overheating, like running slowly, as we were talking about. It may overheat or run slowly. And another IT problem is like connection, trying to connect to the internet. And another problem which mainly affects computers is like viruses. Yeah, those are some of the main problems people meet every day.
Okay, so I'm going to mention a problem and then you will tell me whether this is a hardware issue, whether it's a network issue. So let me say I've pinged my website, yes, but
Yeah.
on pinging my website, it gets stuck somewhere on the third hop. What does that mean? What is that issue?
You pinged or traced the route of your website?
Oh, okay, yeah, I've pinged. Okay, let me first use the one for ping. I've pinged my
Yeah,
website. And then what would be the issue?
yeah.
I've pinged my
And
website, but there is no, the feedback is not good. What is the issue?
I would say if you're pinging a website and there's no feedback, I think there would be like an IP configuration problem, or the issue might be with the DHCP, which is in charge of like allocating IP addresses.
Okay, so another scenario. Is it a software problem or it's the network problem?
Pinging unless if the problem, anybody can like connect to your website and you are the only one who can't connect to your website, I think that case would be then a network problem. But if anybody can't like access to your website, I think then it would be a software problem.
I beg your pardon on that explanation.
I said like if you're pinging your website and you're not able to reach it, and anybody else is able to connect to your website to reach it, in that case it would be a network problem. But if no one is able to access your website, like not able to reach it, then that case it would be a software problem. That's how I think.
So what if I trace route my website and then it gets stuck to some point? What would that be?
I think that case it would be still a software problem, because maybe it got stuck on another server, that server which might have crashed or has system errors.
Also, so if we are to ping Google, yes, let's
Yeah,
put it in a
yeah,
more practical way. If we are to ping
yeah,
Google, yes, and then
yeah,
it's not working. What's the issue
yeah.
there? Is it a network issue or it's a software problem?
I think it's a network issue.
Why this is a network issue?
Because pinging the Google, it shows like the how you are able to the time which it like it shows you the statistics or the time it takes to reach Google. So if you're pinging Google and it doesn't respond back, I think it is a network issue, which is the case.
Okay, you give me a second. Some noise is buzzing. I don't know if you can get me clearly. Can you get me clearly? Because there is a lot of background
Yeah,
noise. People are making adverts
yeah, yeah,
around.
yeah. No
If you,
problem. I can get you.
okay. So if you can get me, so now let me ask my other question. If I ping my server's IP, yes,
Yeah,
is it and it's not working? Yes,
yeah.
is it network problem or it's a software problem?
Pinging your server's IP address.
Yes.
That would be a network issue.
Okay, that's okay. Then if I try opening my website in a browser, yes,
Yeah,
and it fails,
yeah,
what is, are you saying? If I've tried to
yeah,
open
yeah,
my website in a browser, yes?
yeah, yeah,
Remember, let's give an example. It first failed to work. The Google failed to work, yes?
yeah,
But
yeah,
then, oh, okay, let me say I pinged it very fast. I pinged
yeah,
the
yeah,
Google. It worked and the network was
yeah,
fine. There was no problem. Then I pinged the server IP, yes? It also works.
yeah,
But when I try to open my website, yes? Maybe in a browser,
yeah,
it's not working.
yeah.
So what is that? Is that a software issue or a network problem?
No, it is a network issue because all the other parts are working perfectly
But
fine. So
but
you're not
remember,
just able to connect. Yeah,
these ones, when they failed, you said it is a network issue. You remember?
yeah,
So
yeah.
my website not working, you think it's still a network issue or it's a software issue?
No, it's a network issue.
All right. So I think for the hardware issues, we all know that. And so
Yeah, yeah,
some hardware issues, device maybe it's not working, maybe the keyboard is not working, those are hardware issues. Maybe the computer is overheating, the monitor is showing a blue screen, those are hardware issues. They can only be replaced, most of them, very few can be repaired. Maybe for a printer, those ones you can maybe check and try to repair. This.
yeah,
Okay, so we are going to look at the troubleshooting steps. So as you can see, there's usually a first step. Remember the steps? I tried to go through them. So the first step here would be we identify the problem. So let me first go through this. Troubleshooting steps, flow chart. Such a structured troubleshooting process improves problem solving efficiency and accuracy in IT scenarios. The sequential steps. This is the methodology that you must follow. First of all, you have to follow the logical steps, obviously. If the computer is switched off, there is no way you're going to first look at the router. Not so? When the computer is off, there is no way you can first check if the router has the problem. You're obviously going to first think of the first problem. Maybe the electricity is not reaching the computer. So if maybe the computer, the CPU is on, but the monitor is not showing, you have to first confirm, is it connected into electricity? You don't again first remove the HDMI and say maybe it's the HDMI that is not working. You have to first confirm. So you identify the problem. So once we identify the problem, then we start brainstorming the causes. Yes? Once we brainstorm the causes, then we start testing the hypothesis that we have discovered. And then we plan and apply a fix. So if you see you cannot apply a fix, then that's when you consult people who may have better experience. So one thing, how do we identify the problem? So you've come to office and then I've said, my computer is not accessing internet connection. So what are the
yeah,
first questions you're going to ask me to gather information from me so that you can solve my problem? Because remember, in troubleshooting, our first step is to identify the problem. So the problem that I've
yeah.
presented with is my internet connection
Not
is
able.
poor.
Yeah.
So, what are you going to ask me? What are the
My,
first questions?
my first question would be like if your device is connected to the router, if it is properly connected to the router, or like yeah, maybe it is a wireless connection or you have like a cable. So I would first of all ask if in case it has like a cable connection, if your device is properly connected to the router.
So then I say, yes, my device is properly connected. And we
Uh,
check and the device is, yeah, properly connected.
And in that case, I would also ask like all the other people, or ask if another device is able to connect to the network and it has the same issue. That would be my second step.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so the other users are also facing the same problem.
Then in that case, I would give a hypothesis that the cause, no, not that the problem is with the router. And
Okay.
in that case, I would like test many hypotheses by just pinging the router's IP address, or checking if the monthly payment or however you are paying for the plan for your router has been renewed. They are
Okay.
trying like many different possible causes, no,
Okay.
possible solutions. And once you find like which one matches with the problem, which solves the problem, you fix it in that way.
Okay, that's okay. So first thing, you identified the problem by gathering information, asking the users. Then in this situation, we didn't have to observe the error messages, but you can also observe and see what happens when he tries to put in another site. How do you test? You try another site. In case a person maybe has
Yeah,
commonly been using Google, you can just type in something else to just see if it will access the internet. Maybe it's just the site. So you just check.
yeah,
And then the other thing, you establish a theory of the probable cause. That is why you generated your theory that it might be the router, it might be an issue maybe with the internet service provider. Then the other thing is that now we test the theory. You first ping. Yes, you
yeah,
decided to ping the IP
yeah,
address, so you have tested the theory. Then after that, after narrowing down, obviously we are narrowing down the actual cause. Now that we have found the actual cause, if it's the IP address, if it's this, what next? So you plan a solution. If the internet is done,
yeah,
we are going to call the internet service provider. If this, so that, then obviously after planning for the solution, you implement the solution. Yes?
yeah,
So we
yeah,
wait for feedback. If it's the router, wait for feedback. If it's the router and you can get for them another source of internet, you decide to change immediately so that people continue working as they solve the issue. Remember, we should look
yeah,
at all approaches, but the main part is to make sure the clients get back to work, because you're not going to say people
yeah,
are not going to work for the whole day. So there and then you have to look for the what's the next available solution. Yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes, yes. Maybe there is a next building with Wi-Fi. You can see how you can connect them to the same Wi-Fi for that same moment.
yeah,
It is also very crucial.
yeah,
Then the other thing is you verify. Yes, after you implementing
yeah,
the solution, you check, is it now working? Is there no one with an issue? You go desk by desk. If all their systems are running very, very well, then you document. It's always good to document the steps so that you can know that I changed this. Maybe I had to change the IP address to this. Maybe I had to manually change this. So it's always good to write down, to note down what you did. So that way we have satisfied this, we have followed this, we have identified the problem. Since my problem was an internet issue, there is no way you would start by asking is electricity on? Yes, because that is not important. So you have followed the logical steps. You have identified, brainstormed the causes, tested the hypothesis, planned, and then applied the fixes. Then the last part is your verification and documentation. You verify the effectiveness and document the resolution to ensure the problem closure. So that is mainly that. So here, the first part is we identify, then we look out for the possible causes. That's why you see it's coming down in form of like a flow chart. Yes. So our next part, we are going to look at backup and recovery. So when do we have to back up and when do we have to, what's the importance? What do you understand by the term backup? When a person says backup, because it's very, very crucial in troubleshooting.
uh, backup, it is one of the troubleshooting actions like you may use to in order to avoid like loss of information or data. mainly people use it like to store the information. So in case like their devices have a problem or malfunctions, you are able to access your data from where you have stored it.
Before we go to the importance, let us look at give me an example, maybe a SaaS, a software, yeah, any software, maybe. Actually, yeah, a SaaS. You remember SaaS? Remember SaaS in cloud computing?
Yeah, I do remember.
Okay, software as a service. So give me any software as a service platform that can be applied in backup and recovery.
Uh, I would say like for iOS users, I would say iCloud and or OneDrive. Those are some of the systems used for backing up your data.
Is there any other one?
Uh, Google Drive, I think. Yeah,
Okay,
Google
yeah,
Drive.
there's Google Drive. Yes, and very many others. There are even those in the cloud itself, other clouds like AWS, they also have where they can back up your data. Yes,
Yeah.
but I asked for a SaaS platform, so those are the ones. So I wanted you maybe you can list maybe like 2 or 3 importances of backing up.
One importance, the main one is to prevent like losing your data, because anytime your machine or your computer might have a problem and you're not able, and you have to like um, format it, or yeah, like to format it, and to fix the problem you have to format your laptop or computer. So backing up your data would prevent losing the data in the process of formatting your computer. And another importance, let's say if your device has been hacked, or there's someone who's trying to access your information, you have to lock your information or like deny access to the internet. Like don't cut out any access from the internet, and in order to access all the information you had there, you would have to search it up in your backup storage.
Okay, so what's the difference between backup and recovery?
Backup is where like it's the process of
Actually,
uh,
give me,
keep,
actually, let's do it like this. Give me a scenario, and you say
yeah,
this is backing up, and then you give me a scenario, this is recovering.
backing up. One scenario I would say like copying all the information. Let's say your messages on WhatsApp, you just back them up or like store them, keep copies of your messages on your storage. And once you finish, like let's say formatting your phone, you would need to recover the messages you kept on your storage. That would be a recovery scenario.
Okay, so there are types of backups. There's what we call full backups. There we copy all the data. Then there is incremental or save recent changes. That is, I think, mainly in WhatsApp, where you can back up maybe for a week, for a monthly, maybe even on your computer, even on iOS. The more pics you can take in case you have auto backup, they continuously backup. And then there is also differential capture updates. Yes, since last fall. So those are the types mainly for backing up. And then backup best practices. Perform backups before major system changes to minimize downtime and to ensure data recovery capability. Yes?
Yeah,
Why is this very important? Why is it very important for us to make backups before
yeah.
before major system changes? Why is it very important? Because that is very, very crucial.
Of course, performing backups, it means like it saves you the hassle of trying to to access your previous information. Let's say if you're going to update your operating system, let's say you had some information from the previous system and you want to renew your operating system, you have to first of all download the other operating system which has like no no data from the previous one. So let's say if you had backed up your information, it would be easier for you to recover all the data, which is the data recovery capability. You are able to recover all the data which were from the previous operating system. And the hassle of trying to find all the data, it is reduced to a minimum, which is basically meaning that to minimize your downtime.
Okay. Do you see that image, how it brings it out well? The image?
Yeah,
The
yeah,
files are all going to the cloud. Actually, I think is it called light sail, something that can even keep information of up to very many years. Yes?
yeah,
So it's always
yeah,
very, very, but the main issue usually why before a very, very major system change, usually during system changes, a lot of things change. So if it's always better to
yeah,
back up the old information because you might be changing the system
yeah,
maybe from the old one and it's going to wipe out all the old information. And maybe you have a user that still has something in the old
yeah.
information that might have been wiped out. So that's why. So what are the recovery tools? Yeah, here they show us cloud storage. What other recovery tools can we use?
Other recovery?
Other recovery tools in case we are to back up, where we can back up our information and then later use it to recover it, or later recover it.
I would say, of course, the cloud
Okay,
is a recovery tool. Yeah.
okay.
Or let's say even your, like in terms of hardware, some people just keep their information on like a hardware, like or like a physical, how do they call it?
Drives, maybe flash drives,
Yeah,
hard
yeah,
disks.
drive, yeah, like a flash drive, yeah.
Okay,
Some people just use those hard tools in order to keep their information. So in case when they change the system, they are able just to connect their flash drives onto their computer and get all the information.
and there's also what we call system restore points, like maybe in website building. In case you have an old version, you can always find your version there. You can check for an older version. So it's usually also
In what?
automatically saved. Like when you're building a website and then maybe you're making changes,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah,
you can usually just go back and check for it. So we should always, first thing that we should note in this backup and recovery is that we should always test recovery procedures periodically. Because if you don't test your recovery procedure and then it reaches the time to recover and it's not working, then you're going to what? You're going to have issues. Imagine if it's
struggle.
a
Yeah,
yeah, imagine if it's a company with maybe very many clients and then it reaches the time to recover. Maybe you've done a system upgrade and then you're very well sure that maybe it's being saved to the cloud. But then maybe someone had already stopped the process long time ago. Yes? According to how
yeah,
you set it in an automatic way to continuously save the
yeah,
cloud. But then you've not checked this. So before you do anything, you must continuously know that it's saving. Yes? Then you have to
yeah, yeah,
emphasize. You emphasize cloud solutions. They usually prefer cloud solutions compared to the where we have to use hard drives and hard disks. Because anytime a hard drive
yeah.
can get spoiled, anytime a hard disk can get spoiled. But with the cloud, once something is on the cloud, it's there for what? For generations.
Okay. Yeah,
So so you can just do anything to make sure so there's we can recover documents in any way possible. Yes.
yeah.
Okay. So I'll just give you maybe if my application crashes, how do I recover it?
Your application,
Just crashed.
can you give me like an example of an application?
Let me say my WhatsApp crashed.
Yeah,
Yes, what would I do?
yeah. In that case, of course, in WhatsApp, there's most of the applications they do have that option for backing up your data to your
Okay,
storage. So
okay.
let's say if your application, let's say WhatsApp had crashed or is malfunctioning, you would have to uh, delete it and reinstall it again. In that way, in order to recover your messages or your information, you would have to, of course, it has been backed up to your, let's say if you're using an iPhone, the information was backed up on your iCloud. So you would just recover all the information from iCloud.
But do you remember the steps we are supposed to apply? You remember the steps?
Oh,
You first
yeah,
identify.
yeah,
You've forgotten them,
yeah,
so you
first,
must first ask me, was my WhatsApp
yeah,
backed up? Then I'll tell you
yeah,
no.
yeah,
That means you have no solution for me at that what? At that moment.
yeah,
Okay, let me give
yeah,
you another scenario. Let me say let me say you've gone to maybe to the system and then you're trying to check, or maybe a person has called it their desk and then they say, I'm trying to back up my information, my data for the day, but it has failed to back up.
yeah.
Yes, so what would be the possible causes that you'd think of? And then the troubleshooting steps, obviously.
Uh, of course, I would ask them if they are trying to back up their information on a cloud or physical a flash drive, or like first of all try to identify where they're trying to back up their data, and in that
So the
case,
scenario is using the cloud. I'm backing up on the cloud.
oh, okay. uh, of course, most of the times when you're trying to back up your data on the cloud, it means you already have an account on that cloud, or you have like some way to back up your data on the cloud. And I would ask them, of course, like if their cloud or account on that cloud has been renewed, or if there is a monthly payment, they have been paying their monthly fees, and if in that case it's all settled, I would ask them like how which storage, like what's the capacity, or
Yeah.
like how much did they pay for the storage? Because some people just pay for, let's say, like 10 gigabytes, and the information or data they're trying to back up is lot more than just 10 gigabytes. In that case, it wouldn't work. And
Okay.
after trying to identify the problem, you try possible solutions.
Okay. So you've talked about obviously asking about that is mainly we are looking at insufficient storage what? Space.
Yeah,
Yes. So
yeah,
if the storage space is less, obviously we are now going to check the availability of the disk and then we see if they need to upgrade. Then if it's maybe the backup software misconfiguration, then you also check for that. That is if the space is sufficient. Yes. So
yeah,
if it is
yeah,
not that, but then there is also another issue we have to first look at, that is the network connection issue. It is also
yeah.
very what? Important because
Of
backing
course.
up, especially to the cloud or to a server, you must have internet. The network has to be very. So we test connectivity to the backup server, then we check the logs for maybe specific error messages. That way we can know. Yes. So should I give you another
Yeah,
scenario?
yeah, no
So
problem.
I've tried, I'm attempting to I'm attempting maybe to restore my file. Yes, but the file shows it is corrupted. How would I go? How would I go about that?
Uh, let's say you're trying to back up your file on a cloud. Most
Yes.
of those
I'm
clouds
trying, no, I'm
they
not
have
trying to back up. I'm trying to restore
yeah,
my file. I already backed it up, but I'm trying to restore it. But then it comes out. it comes as a corrupted backup file. So how do I troubleshoot such a problem?
Most of the times those files which are corrupted, they might refuse you access to recover it, because most of the times those files, they have been manufactured. Let's say like there's a virus in it. That would be like my hypothesis. But the first step of identifying the problem, I would ask them like which file is they're trying to restore in your to recover in your device. There might be even an issue that the file you're trying to recover is not let's say if you had changed your operating system, or let's say you have renewed your laptop, and you're trying to recover the information from your previous laptop. Your laptop might not be able to sustain it due to maybe like an antivirus you had in your laptop. All those might be the possible causes of that problem. So in like the way I would just try to solve the problem, I would like do a command prompt. There's this command prompt which I forgot. It's how you check the files. Um,
Once a direct, like to see how the files are running.
yeah. I
Okay.
think it's a chs disk command.
Or the check disk command.
Yeah.
So remember now, we are looking at a
Oh,
corrupted
that one
file.
is it's just
Remember, the
for
other
the
one
file.
is for a normal work.
Yeah,
So now here we are looking at the correct. First thing is we have to attempt to restore the file. Yes, but we are trying
yeah,
to restore the file, but it's already corrupted. So what do? We have to find out during the backup, was it interrupted? Maybe during the backup, internet what? Got off.
yeah,
Yes. So
yeah,
if that was the issue, how do we go back? Obviously, we now have to look for the documents. We have to look for it on the drive, the external drive that where it was before the backup,
yeah,
so that we can, you know, we can again try to restore another backup version. Yes?
yeah,
So we try to look for the old one. If it has been continuous, we try to look for the, let me say it was day by day. We try to look for day by day until we reach that point where it was what? Corrupted. And that's where we are going to try, we restore what is behind and then we restore what we can get. Then another issue, it can be another possible cause, maybe the external drive is failing. Yes? Maybe
yeah,
the storage media has, so we have to check for the storage.
yeah.
Maybe we carry out a
That's
disk
when you
scan.
create the check disk. Yeah, the
Okay,
check disk command.
okay. Then the other part is we have to look at maybe the backup file became corrupted during what? The transfer. Yes?
Yeah, yeah,
So we now have to ensure that if we are still transferring it back, we have to ensure that all the methods we avoid interruption. There is no internet going off, there is nothing. We make sure that by the time we are restoring it, it's maybe if we are restoring files to all the devices, we make sure the devices are not in use. Maybe we carry it out when people are not working so that there is no what? Interruption. So from there, we can restore a valid backup and then identify the corrupt files, and then we maybe replace those ones that were corrupted. Yes.
yeah,
So another scenario we shall look at, maybe restoring backup is taking extremely low. So there obviously the possible causes. What would you think of? Maybe the restoring file is taking very long. We are trying to restore a file, but it's taking very long. What would be the possible causes?
Uh, the possible cause to be maybe the internet or your network is running low,
Okay, that's very good. Another one.
or even your uh like storage is almost like full. There's
Okay,
not
that's
enough
also
space.
correct. Okay.
And another one, it might be even by the files itself, they might be just too big. to just
Okay.
transfer very quick.
Okay, that's also very, very right. Okay, so obviously there are the troubleshooting steps. We already, if it's large backup size, if the, maybe another issue, maybe we have to look at what is going on onto the computer. Maybe there are very many processes at the same time. You know that? We use the task manager to monitor that, yes? To see
Yeah,
what is going on. So we have to monitor the CPU, the RAM, and maybe the network. That's how we are going to try and troubleshoot the whole entire situation. And we can pause other heavy applications. Maybe we are backing up from both sides, or maybe we are
yeah,
backing up and then as we are restoring this one, so we have to maybe try to stop another side. Then we can
yeah,
also maybe consider, a full restore, or we can consider not using a full restore, an incremental restore. Yes, you remember when we were talking about incremental backup? So we can also have
yeah.
incremental restore. So you remember incremental backup? What was incremental backup?
Incremental, incremental backup is like trying to continuously check if your or backups is being like if your data are being backed up, like let's say on a month or on by on a day. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So the other issues we may find may be backup is not detectable, cloud backup restore fails, all those ones we shall see. Maybe expired subscription. Those are the things that you will meet. Those are the real life examples. Yes? So we shall see. For those that you can try to stimulate, maybe you will try out. Okay, so let's continue. I think we are going on, yeah, preventive maintenance. Obviously, preventive maintenance involves regular checks and updates to ensure IT system functions optimally and avoid major issues. Key practices include cleaning hardware, components, ensuring proper airflow to prevent overheating, updating softwares and drivers, maintain compatibility and security, that is running antiviruses, security scans, all that to detect and eliminate threats by performing these tasks routinely. Yes, you have to perform them. You
yeah,
must make sure people have, if it's Windows Defender you're using, if it is Avast antivirus, you have to make sure it's updated. If there is a new version of Windows, you update. You make sure if it's a system that you're the one that is continuously monitoring, you try to make sure you make updates, you improve the security. So that way. So obviously now preventive maintenance, hardware maintenance, the cleaning and everything that is to make sure we prevent hardware issues, maybe overheating, maybe the yes. So that's why we have to
yeah.
regular clean airflows to make sure there is good airflow to avoid that, so obviously to avoid overheating. Then software updates, also obviously updating the software, new security. Each update enhances security. Then security scans, where we are fighting malware, antiviruses. That is mainly that. Then the benefits obviously of maintenance, it prevents tasks to extend the equipment lifestyle and reduce unexpected failures. Obviously, and the other thing is if you're doing hardware maintenance, you're going to realize with time. Yes, if you're doing software updates, you're going to realize that maybe I'm having this software issue. So you're going to actually prevent. You're not going to reach a level where you're going to find that maybe the servers are down and you have to maybe troubleshoot for everyone or something like that. You're going to easily monitor that. Maybe you're doing an
Yeah.
update and you're saying the internet is usually slow every time you're doing an update. So you're going to solve that issue. You're going to, troubleshoot for the internet connection. That way you're actively involved. Maybe a normal user may not consider it. Yes? They might be, hey, that's our system. Usually have that saying, hey, our system is ever slow in the morning, but there might be an issue as to why it's slow. Maybe there's the backup is taking place in the morning. It's supposed to take place during the night. But the only way you're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
identify is by obviously continuously what? Monitoring these. That's what we call that's the preventive maintenance. Maybe are there any questions so far of what we have covered?
No.
Okay. So we are going to look at maybe the tools for troubleshooting. So before we go into the tools, what do you understand by the tools that we use maybe for troubleshooting? What tools would you say?
Uh, I think due to that, there are even different kind of problems which needs troubleshooting. I would say there are some hardware tools and also some software tools. Yeah, like
So
one of the hardware tools, it
yes,
would be like, let's say, uh, if I had a computer which is not getting power like electricity, I would use like a cable tester. No, like how do you? There's which you test if like the plugins have like connection, like have electricity in it, like a power supply tester.
okay,
And they say like we have a multimeter, which I saw in the photo you were sharing. Like here, there's a
okay,
multimeter,
okay,
and one of the software tools, I would say the command prompt we've been trying to cover.
okay. That's
Also, also task manager, which used to monitor all the running processes.
so. Let me ask you
Also,
something funny. Is
yeah,
Task Manager a hardware tool or it's a software tool?
it's a software tool.
Why not a hardware tool? I feel like it's a system and hardware troubleshooting tool. Why do you say it's a software tool?
Well, at the same time, task manager also monitors like if all your hardware equipments are running properly, but
So
it
doesn't that
mainly,
make it
I think it's
okay?
on
Continue.
both sides, but mainly it checks for what's making all those hardware resources how they are working. It means like it checks in what's inside those hardwares, which makes it like a software tool mainly.
Okay. The main goal is applying it, but me, I would say it might be a hardware tool. It might be because we are monitoring maybe a CPU, a memory disk, network usage. It's mainly dealing with hardware tools. Yes, it's the same thing maybe with the
Yeah,
device manager. So, shall see. Anyway, we shall continue maybe at
yeah,
the end. You'll tell me as I continue. So obviously we have now tools for troubleshooting. So we have diagnostic software tools like CPU-Z, HW monitor. These reveal key hardware performance and health data. Yes.
yeah,
Then we have remote support tools. You've heard of these. There is
yeah,
Team
yeah,
Viewer. Yeah, there's Team Viewer. There is AnyDesk. There is Quick Assist. I think that is very, very common.
yeah,
Quick Assist. I think Quick Assist. You know, Quick Assist is mainly here. It's like an access your computer from this side and you can access mine from that side. It's Quick
yeah,
Assist. Same thing with Team Viewer. So now this is maybe you're working remote and then there is a technical issue. Maybe that day you're not at office. Yes. So
yeah,
yeah. So maybe that. So that is also there. You can use that. That's for troubleshooting. Maybe technical problems that people can't. Maybe. Then there is network troubleshooting utilities. Obviously, that's where we are using the command prompt to use ping, traceroute. Yes. And then we also have system log and error reports. Obviously, you shall see these. Usually most actually, if you check for your device health, they are going to show you what is the problem. Yes. That way. So
yeah,
when we go maybe to giving you something brief about maybe system and hardware troubleshooting tools. We have the task manager that's mainly for Windows. Then we have active monitor that is for Mac. These ones, their purpose, we monitor the CPU, the memory, the disk, network usage, and then we identify resource hogging processes. Then the device manager, this is also in what? In Windows. Checks hardware status, update drivers, and then resolve device what? Conflicts. Then the event viewer, this is the one for viewing what? System logs and errors. You can search for event viewer and then you will see. It will show you your system. It's very, very simple. It will show you the problems that you're having. Yes, if you check
Yeah.
for, you'll see it's there on every computer. You'll see the description. It'll show you your Windows logs, application logs, what is the problem, and you'll see it. It's very, very, very effective actually. Yes, you see it shows the error messages. Then we also have the smart tools. We have the HDD scan. Yes, these ones monitor hard drive health. Then we also have the mem test 886. This one we test RAM for errors causing crashes and instability. That is it. Then the network troubleshooting tools, we have spoken about the traceroute, the ping, the netstart. You remember netstart? Whereby, what do we
Yeah.
check for in netstart?
Netstat allows like the IT professionals to check for the TCP and IP connections.
So we mainly do look at the network statistics, netstart,
Yeah.
network statistics. So we have the Wireshark, it captures and analyzes network traffic for problems and intrusions. Obviously, we have the IP config. So obviously for the IP addresses, if we have to reset network adapters, we also have obviously the speed test. You know where you test for your internet, you can run a speed test and then check if your internet is slow, at what Mbps is it running. So that is it. Then obviously we are going to look at the software troubleshooting tools, and then you will tell me if you still believe Task Manager is a software management troubleshooting tool. So in the software
Yeah.
management tools, we have antivirus.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this you accept that is a software tool. So we are
Yeah.
detecting.
Antivirus, any virus or malware is in your computer.
Okay, so that's the software tool. Then we have the system file check. I remember the CFC scan now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so why does that one, why doesn't it fall up the other side?
Because it's mainly checking for your system, like your operating system. That's where we use it.
Okay, so then we're obviously going to talk about the reliability monitor. That one also reviews system stability, crash history in Windows, and that. And we also have the dependency walker and process explorer. This one also analyzes software dependencies, running process issues. We also have obviously debugging tools. That's where we have VS. Yes, you know VS, Visual Studio.
No,
You've not used VS, Visual Studio?
no, I haven't.
Let me see. Let me try to open. Any Visual Studio, it's like a coding platform. In case you have some codes
Oh
that
yeah.
you want to run. Let me try to share maybe the screen. So now this is Visual Studio. So mainly if you have to maybe open a file, let me try to open a project that I'm working on. Okay, I want to open it. Yeah, let me just open maybe, let me look for here. Oh, sorry. I went to open file. I have to open folder. So let me open this. So here you're going to see like the entire code of my program. Let it first load. Are you seeing? So now here, in
Yeah.
case I'm trying to like edit something, maybe a code, maybe as this is a project that I'm trying to work on, and then maybe I want to change the brain pie. So I'll just come here. This, in case there is an error, obviously it's going to show me when I put in PowerShell. It's going to show me there's an error on this, maybe on this code line, on this line. Then I'll just come here and then what? Look through. So this is Visual Studio. It's mainly used for editing. Mainly, it's Python. This is mainly Python language, Python coding. Maybe we shall reach a time where we are going to go through this Python coding with Python, something like that. This is mainly Python language. So this is how it is. This is the Visual Studio. This is the Brucer skeleton, the brain. Each part has, this is Fiverr login. This is the Greek post Brucer pie. Each part. This is the orchestration pie. Yes, orchestration means how you're going to run. the whole plan. So that's mainly it about Visual Studio. So that's how it looks. It helps also mainly in code if there are faults, maybe in Python or something. You try, maybe you're designing an application, but you're coding it. This is how you go about it. Okay. So we continue with our slide presentation. Okay, as it loads, let's give it time. So we shall resume from where we stopped. So we're looking at the tools. Then obviously we had finished the debugging tools, the dev tools from dev tools. Then so we're going to look, I was going to also tell you about other tools, the backup and restore, troubleshooting tools. We obviously have Windows backup and restore, that is on every Windows laptop. Then we have the time machine, that is for the MacBook, which creates and restores systems of file backups. And we have Vim. Yes, it's also an advanced backup tools, restore solutions for file disks and servers. And we also have the check desk. This is where it lands. Yeah, are you seeing?
Yeah.
So check desk is not part of the other side, though it's also a backup and restore troubleshooting tool because it scans storage media for errors that may block backups. Then the other part is the cloud storage logs, maybe Google Drive, OneDrive, Dropbox. Those ones verify and detect errors. When you check, if you'll see your errors. Then report troubleshooting tools. We spoke about TeamViewer, AnyDesk, Chrome Remote Desktop, all those that give you access to other users. Yes. And there's also, we can use SSH. Yes, whereby we connect to remote servers. That is command line for troubleshooting, mainly maybe through PowerShell command prompt. We can use SSH. Yes. Then the other part is other remote monitoring tools. We have Zabbix and then Nagios. You'll read more about them. But mainly the remote troubleshooting tools, you're not with the person that you're exchanging with. You people at a distance, but you're monitoring the tools. You can help troubleshoot their computers. Okay. So any questions on remote troubleshooting tools? On tools for troubleshooting?
No. We'll go through them next time.
Okay. For those that have joined us, yeah, we shall try to use most of these practically, and then we see.
Yeah.
You shall try. Okay, but you can also try them maybe with a friend. You can do it as an illustration. So yeah, obviously now, yeah, we are going to go to a practical scenario. We have been doing most of these practical scenarios, yes. But okay, so first we have to identify the problem. That is, if the person is having maybe internet issues, we identify the problem and we check, is the Wi-Fi our icon on the laptop to detect connectivity issues, is it on? Then we test. We can connect another device, maybe your phone. Then we resolve. If maybe you can reinstall the network driver if the laptop still cannot connect to the Wi-Fi. Then you document the troubleshooting what? Stages. That is mainly about troubleshooting, the tools. So let's look at the key takeaways. What have we? So these are the key takeaways. Structured troubleshooting, a systemic approach, ensures efficient and accurate resolution of IT issues. So you remember the steps: we identify the problem,
And analyze, diagnose, analyze,
okay.
And then plan and fix the problem.
Okay.
After that, you also have to document it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, remember, after during the identifying, we have to gather information. What has caused this? What is, you have to observe. We gather information. Then in analyzing, we check the possible reasons. Yes. Then we test the solutions. In computer, it's okay to test. It's not like in the medical field whereby if you test medicine on someone, here it's okay to test the machine. Yes. If you test and maybe you've crushed everything, but you obviously also have to test where you feel like it's high risk. You might lose maybe company information. There you have to first consult, or you try to look for possible ways and see if what happens when I do this, what happens. It might be a camera and then you're troubleshooting for a camera. Maybe you're going to make the whole data get lost, so which would be bad in case something happened the previous week. You might be the first suspect, I'll say. we saw the IT department go that side, and maybe it's an IT machine that is missing. So they might say you did it intentionally. So it's also very, very crucial to know that. But in computer, we are allowed to test then regular backups. Obviously, the backups help you in gaining the information back. You implement backup strategies to reduce risk of data. You can maybe tell them, you find a company that is maybe storing maybe on large servers, or you can tell them, let's, why can't we opt for the cloud? We can pay as what? As we go, other than us having maybe big disks, maybe big storages that might be, let's maybe keep the data for other old years here, and let's push the old data for the other years onto the cloud, rent a space for it, and then you keep this one that is current maybe here on our servers. So you give them ideas. Then preventive measures, routine maintenance. Say in preventive, there is routine maintenance, constantly checking if the backups can work and if you can restore that data. You just try and test. Now when the time comes, you're very, very sure. Then you have to document. Yes, documentation of benefits. So a document solution, build knowledge base for faster resolution. So then I think we are going to come to an end. That's why we shall have the questions. Yes. Okay. So this is mainly that. That's the end. Easy troubleshooting checklist. We identify the problems by clearly defining the IT issue to focus troubleshooting efforts. Yes, there's no person who's going to tell you I'm not accessing internet and then you're going to start with checking the electricity. We have to be, yeah. Then we test one solution at a time. If you think the router is the problem, you can first try out with the router. If you find the router is not the problem and the computer is the problem, but we obviously, if it's an internet issue, if it's a general problem, then that can be the router. If it's a specific computer and other computers are accessing, then maybe it's not the router's problem. Maybe it's the computer's IP address. Maybe we need to check the IP address. I think, are you seeing how we apply everything from the start? Yes?
Yeah, yeah.
So now here, if imagine I had brought troubleshooting before we had done the other commands, then you're hearing very, very new things. Yes?
Yeah, yeah.
But now we have a systematic approach. So that is it. Then we test one solution at a time. Then we isolate the issue. Then we confirm the solution success, record the findings for future reference and consistency. Yes, maybe if there are any questions, if there are not, then maybe we can call it a day. Are there any questions? Or I should be the one to ask. So let me ask you something. What is the simple quiz? What is the first step in troubleshooting?
Troubleshooting, the first, yeah, as we talked about, troubleshooting is a process of figuring out a problem and fixing it in simple terms. So the first step would be like to identify the problem and
Okay,
gather the information.
okay, that's correct. Then which tool would you use to check for CPU and memory storage? Maybe on a Windows PC. Which tool?
To check for what?
For CPU and memory usage.
It would be task manager or a command prompt for like task list. That would
Okay.
be my tools.
Okay, if maybe if my computer has a malware infection, it has an insufficient memory, and then there are very many background programs that are open. So if my computer is running slowly, what would be the problem? What would be the cause?
As you said, we have like an
Malware
a
infection.
virus. Yeah, a malware
Yes.
infection.
Then we
And
have an insufficient RAM, and then we also have too many background apps opened.
yeah, in that case, the computer running slow would be like an insufficient RAM.
Why not all of them?
At the time, it would be the computer running slow, but I think the main problem, because all the others, you may have them and the computer still run it may still run like normally, but once there's insufficient RAM, even if there wasn't all the other problems, the computer would still run low, like slow.
Okay. So I think other things we shall be doing with time, not so?
Yeah,
Yes. Okay. I think we can call it a day. Have a nice day. Are you going to be around tomorrow?
yeah, sure. In the morning.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll send for you some document of what we are covering, what we are going to cover. Maybe we should look at something maybe in cybersecurity.
Okay.
So I want to get something that is closely related to this so that we go in a nice order.
Okay.
Okay, Kali, have a nice good day. In case you believe in Christ, God bless you and bless us all. In case you don't, let humanity lead us.
Hmm.
Yes,
Okay.
Kali, nice day.
You too.